Welcome to the new studio. Just kidding, I'm in a hotel room and I don't really care. What I do care about is the Dunu x Koto Ito. It's a collaboration between Dunu and some dude named Koto. Apparently, he's a Japanese reviewer. I haven't been able to find him anywhere on YouTube. Maybe he's on a magazine somewhere. I don't know. Maybe he's on a forum. Point is, they made an IEM. It costs just shy of $200 and it has 4 drivers in each ear. Now, I know you want an unboxing, but I've already unboxed this because I had to try it out. And this is the box. I don't know what you get out of unboxings, but here you go. You get a few different tips. We'll talk about that in a second. You get a case, just like any other case. Okay, now let's talk about the IEM. This is quite a fetching little IEM. It's got a nice little 3D effect inside, and it reminds me a little bit of the Truthier Clinical Project Blue. In fact, it's very, very similar all around. Now, there's 2 dynamic drivers and 2 balanced armatures in each ear, and the nozzle, it's not the widest, but it's not what I would call narrow and super comfortable for people with smaller ears. The IEM itself, though, at least for my very, very tired and very fatigued ears, because I have just stretched them out beyond belief like a hooker, not even kidding. So for me, it seems comfortable, but I don't know if I can make that judgment call for everyone anymore. There's a little bit of earwax on this one. We'll ignore that for a second. Now, it is pretty flush with the ear, just sticks out a little bit. It's not too bulky. I have seen worse. You use a nice cable with a 2-pin connection on either side, and that 2-pin connection is recessed into the shell for those interested. But oh my god, is there more wax here? Oh, okay, I'm sorry about this. But 2-pin connection recessed in, and remember, red is always right if you're wondering which side goes where. Now, the cable, pretty hefty. You get replaceable connections at the end. You can just unscrew this and you can have the 4.4mm balance, which I'm using right now, or the 3.5mm. Honestly, it makes no difference which one you use. Sound quality is not determined by this. It's just balance will allow you to extract more power. Not that this is a very difficult IEM to power in the first place. Also, you get a nice little neck cinch for what it's worth. I am currently using this off of the Crinier Protocol Max. Shout out to Crinier for sending me one of these. It's a DAC. It works as advertised. It has 3.5mm and 4.4mm jack, so I can use that. It's also got little controls. This DAC does not, it's got an eco and a boost mode, but it doesn't have an internal battery as far as I can tell. This works purely off of your phone's battery, so be aware that it will drain your phone if you use it, but it can power almost everything, including my HD6XX is absolutely fine. No issues, lots of headroom. So yeah, pretty good, solidly built IEM. And the party trick over here is that you can go to hangout.audio and you can actually upload an EQ setting onto this. So if you've got a favorite IEM but you want to just change that one thing, there. Now, let's talk about how this actually sounds. This is, make no mistake, a bassy IEM. Now, I tested this using a range of tracks. I used some Ariana Grande, I used some Sia, I used some Miley Cyrus, and I used some Teddy Swims. And of course, the inimitable Why So Serious by Hans Zimmer, because that's just such a good test track. And here's what I found. Fundamentally, this is a bassy IEM. There's no getting away from it. It does it reasonably well. It's got good mid-bass punch, it's got good extension into the sub-bass, and I think bass is done quite well on this. Can it be a little better? Sure, but that's not the point. It is pretty darn good for sub $200. I like it. The mids get a little interesting. Now, in the treble, it is a little bit uneven, but for the most part, very smoothly tuned. So what do I mean by that? It's got some, bits and pieces that are emphasized, and you can hear it when you listen to anything with treble. You can hear like a glassy edge to certain songs. And that usually comes when you have a little more treble emphasis, but a little uneven treble emphasis. That is a small nitpick of mine, but it does give you the sparkle on an otherwise bass-heavy IEM. So that might be quite enjoyable to a lot of people. It doesn't have any major treble spikes though, like a lot of IEMs I've been testing lately have. So that is a good thing. For the most part, it is reasonably smoothly tuned. The treble unevenness does come through on certain vocals as well, because some vocals, certain female vocals, have a sort of metallic edge to them, and that could be the balanced armature, that could be the tuning, I don't know which one, but it was definitely there. But for the most part, vocals were actually very good. And in fact, when I listen to Teddy Swims, this is one of the few IEMs that does justice to his voice, because most of them will make it sound some kind of sharp and some kind of weird and some kind of metallic. This one, beautiful timbre for male vocals. Female vocals, for the most part pretty good, but some female vocals do tend to have a little bit of extra sparkle, let's call it. To me, a little bit bothersome, but I am nitpicking at this point because by and large, it is a well-tuned, smoothly tuned IEM with good treble extension. Now, here's my real problem. It sounds a bit congested. So when I talk about congested, what do I mean? I mean, obviously, the soundstage or the pseudo soundstage in case of IEMs, whatever, the soundstage sounds relatively narrow, where it can definitely, for the $200 price point, it can definitely sound wider. There are planar IEMs that do this. There's the Kiwi Quintet, my old favorite, that does this beautiful white soundstage with great instrument separation. This one, the instruments, they're clear, don't get me wrong, but they just feel like they're not separated quite that well. And that's my main issue with this, is that the sound is well tuned, bassy, with a little bit of sparkle and decent timbre overall. But I do find that it could be a more spacious sound. I would prefer it at least. And it definitely should have a little more instrument separation. In this price point, like I said, you get 5 driver IEMs, you get planar magnetic IEMs. It's not about the number of drivers, it's the fact that both of those examples, the Kiwi Quintet and some planar IEMs, all of them just have more clarity and separation between instruments than this, and that is my only big problem with the Dunu Ito. If you're a fan of this Koto fella, or if you're a fan of Dunu, then this is a well-constructed IEM that sounds pretty good, has nice bass, has for the most part good timbre, slightly metallic in female vocals. And you could disagree with some of those things, but I don't think, if you've tried a number of IEMs, I don't think you'll disagree with the fact that this doesn't sound as open as it should, and the instruments aren't quite as separated as it could be. Is it good? Yes. Is it the one I would absolutely recommend for the $200 price point? No, not exactly. Now, it does come with 3 different tips, and what I have tried is with these basic clear tips. It also comes with these other clear tips with the color inside them, which looks very cool. And then it comes with a little, what is this? This is not a tip. Oh yeah, this is a little cleaning tool, which is super useful. And yeah, look, little brush there, very nice. But that's it. So 2 different types of tips. I thought there were 3. I could have sworn there were 3. Yeah, there's another one over here. Yeah, there you go. So these are the ones that are significantly different. They're a little stickier in the ear, and they're very squared off. They're not, the rounded sort of tip. So this is interesting. So one of the things about this is that they're a little sticky, but they also insert a little deeper into your ear. So if you want that deep insertion, if you just want a better seal overall, then this is probably what you want to go for if you don't want to go for foam tips. Okay, so there's definitely a difference between the 2 ear tips. The sticky tips actually sound a little bit bassier, and when there's something that really requires impact and grunginess, I find that the normal regular tips, the non-sticky tips, because they have a little less bass, the impact and grunge, and I know this sounds counterintuitive, actually comes across a little better, whereas in this, it comes across a little softer. And that's basically about 4 minutes and 35-40 seconds into the Why So Serious track. You can hear it. There's a little bit that just comes at you, and you need to have that kind of attack. This seems a little soft, but a little more bassy. And these will seem a little sharper and trebly, but also will have that attack and rawness that you require in certain tracks. Overall, I'd say pretty good IEM. I like the sound. I like how clean the presentation is for the most part. As a nitpick for the $200 price point, I think instrument separation could be a little bit better, and I think soundstage could be a little bit wider, but this is a very, very well-tuned IEM overall. That's the Dunu X Koto Ito. And this is what's new. Subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.